Hello, and once again, and welcome back to the True International Season 2. The curtain's calling for once again a wonderful day to be present in that international stage between many countries. We're talking about Laos, we're talking about Bhutan, Indonesia, Philippines, Malaysia, India, and last but not least, Timor-Leste. And of course, this event couldn't happen without a prize pool. So our sponsors as well, NextG, hooking us up with the prize pool for the players. Because season one, we didn't have a prize pool. It was only like sponsorship between players or maybe, government and sponsorship. But right now, we're getting something which the players can, hopefully use it to upgrade their devices, maybe buy themselves coolers, and that is what we want. We want to be supportive of the teams as well. But as of tonight, though, it's a bit sad that we're going to be solo casting once again. We didn't have Wands here because Wands was feeling a little bit unwell. So prayers to Wands, guys, in the chat as well. And hopefully we get him for tomorrow's stage because I'm pretty sure he's going to be casting with the Shar Ash again. So I really want him to, have that experience with a PH professional caster, I should say, because RS was pretty good. So right now, for tonight's match, it's going to be the 2-0 bracket, which means teams that had a winning streak in the switch brackets are going to be playing against each other. And if they get this another win against each other, they're going to be qualified to the playoffs where they can finally get that best of 3 series going on. But for now, it's going to be Malaysia versus Leon Esports. And it's, of course, Malaysia as Fusion Esports and Leon Mufasa onto the Laos. So for now, we're just going to be seeing how the players are going to be drafted for now. But as of course, internationals, always a bridge for esports community focusing on hosting inclusive and internationally accessible tournaments. That's why our players here have found their foundation to, make it a bit more fortified for their upcoming careers as well. So here we are. We have Kuro Sensei as a coach on side of Fusion Esports. If Fusion Esports win, hopefully we'll get to see his face in interview. Maybe ask him a bit of question of how they, pull through that very, very, very difficult obstacle. But for now, it's going to be also Leon Mufasa because I'm pretty sure Leon Mufasa also have played really well. We got Alex there as well, who I'm pretty sure Dick got the MVP last time I saw him play. So they didn't have a coach, but they're going to be all alone. There's just going to be the 5 men drafting themselves through this. So Malaysia, first time, going to be banning out, very targeted bans, I should say, because we don't usually see Granger in the first section of the ban. Maybe this is what Coach Kuro Sensei did in the past prep time, where he kind of studied the drafting of Leon Mufasa. Of course, I'm pretty sure Alex was the marksman and the gold laner, and like I said, MVP can fall to his hands if he's gotten the Granger as well. So that is the very safe ban, I should say, to the side of Malaysia, banning out the Granger and also the Yi Shin, the rising jungler. But as you know, Yi Shin, if you want a Yi Shin to work, you really need to have a good comp where you can't really, secure a turtle in like the first turtle because of his very, late game scaling. So as for him, he just needs to keep farming. It's better as a Yi Shin to ignore the first turtle and maybe contest for the second turtle, but the first turtle, instead of that, maybe rotate to the other round, maybe go ahead and do some ganks, maybe on the gold lane, get some more creeps, maybe invade their jungle while they are, working on the turtle. That could be better. But look at these, all situated. The bans are all, targeted towards Leon Mufasa on the gold lane. It seems like they don't want to be dealing with those, those very, very well-equipped gold laners they have on the side of Leon Mufasa here. But don't forget, Leon Mufasa also targeting the roam and the utility. Vedran is out. Baxia is also out. Kalea is also out because Kalea, despite the nerf, still rocking in the meta. Especially her range with the title strike. The fact that she can just instantly extend her range to go and grab them with a tsunami slam. Unless you're Keyboy, I don't think you can quite react to the incoming title strike. But here we are, the first pick to side of Malaysia. Fusion Esports gonna go with the early burst, early initiation when it comes to any the feathered airstrike is just gonna be there. So first, oh whoa, we're getting a Fanny on the side of Leon Mufasa here, guys. finally something. Fanny's nerf in this current patch, so I don't know how she's gonna perform, but as for high rank, she's always still banned in the ban section. So I don't know how this is gonna work out for Leon Mufasa, but hoping if they can get the good ping, maybe they are confident that they're gonna get the good ping against Malaysia. That's why they picked that Fanny, and you know how a Fanny works. If the ping is bad, you can't get those cables right, and the cables are very important for victory for us. Right now it's gonna be also Uranus to the side of Leon Mufasa, as Uranus is also revamped. He can pretty much work in the EXP. Of course, he's always the EXP. I don't know, some people like to play him roam, but I don't quite see the potential in the roam because of his lack of crowd control. But EXP is the way to go. And if you want to play Uranus on the UXP, you just gotta play it a bit safe on the early game, maybe get some levels, maybe at least get a consecration level 4, and then you can start snowballing, because your basic attack, as the passive says, you're gonna deal those magic damage. So on to the side of Fusion Esports though, they are picking a Moskov. And Moskov is actually pretty good for a Fanny, considering the fact that if you can position yourself, you can use this Spear of Misery just in a perfect position to, you know, kebab the Fanny onto the walls, right? So other than that, they also wanna use something to go against the Fanny. That's gonna be this Akai. I haven't seen Akai recently in this current tournament, but maybe this is the first, maybe this is the debut. But I feel like this Akai is very targeted towards Fanny, because we already got like 2 counters for the Fanny, which is the Moskov and the Akai. The Akai heavy spin is going to work wonders, especially if Fanny comes in crazy with the cables. Akai is just going to heavy spin and just knock her away. So right now, for now though, Badang is still free, but usually Badang never mind being back to the side of Leon Mufasa, because they don't want to pick the Badang, because a Moskov and a Badang combo is very deadly, especially for a Fanny, because if a if a Badang catches you in the fist break and the Moskov comes in with the Spear of Misery, they're toast. You're basically an immobile flying, I don't know, maybe assassin. Yeah, let's just keep it right there. But as to the side of Leon Mufasa, I think the Bruno is very good against a Moskov, despite Bruno's nerf onto like the range. But I'm pretty sure he was, I don't know if he was buffed in this patch, but either way, I've seen a lot of Brunos in those pro scenes as well, so I guess we're gonna consider that Bruno is finally appearing again in the meta. So against the Moskov, it's quite nice because his range is definitely a bit more than the Moskov Spear. So having that extra range to kind of outrange him and, you know, dish out the damage, if you can get those double volley shot, that's gonna be huge. But oh my goodness, here comes a very interesting pick to the side of Leon Mufasa. Faramis. I don't know how this Faramis would work. Maybe they are thinking of what is actually going to be very hard for the Faramis to activate the Nether Realm, because if you're talking about Nether Realm here, they do have a fire shot that can instantly drop first nuke of the Feather Airstrike before you can activate your ultimate. That's another thing, but I think this pick is just to safeguard the Fanny from getting destroyed easily by these counter picks, namely the Moskov and Akai, because this Akai is going to start spinning and knock the Fanny into the wall, and then you want something to safeguard it, maybe with the Nether Realm. So safeguard that as well. Oh my goodness. folks. Oh my god, it's an Akai jungle, it seems. Utility Akai is back on that. I thought it was going to be like a roam. EXP is not going to work out because the Uranus is just going to, you know, bully the Akai. But okay, a utility for an assassin. As you know, the rise of utility jungles, this Akai is going to be working wonders, especially against a Fanny. And they do have more of like, how will I say, let's see here, more edge when it comes to retribution plays, because an Akai is going to be hard to zone out a bit. But Fanny can come in a little bit, you know, sneaky with the cables. But I'm pretty sure Yuzong and Franco there as well on the side of Fusion Esports, they're going to be ready to knock the Fanny out. And look at this drafting so far. Completely a new set of draft from both of these countries. Very interesting from Malaysia, but I'm feeling like they're trying way too hard to kind of counter only the Fanny, because the Fanny only works in like the early to mid game. If she doesn't get the farm, she doesn't get the snowball, she basically falls down and she's just a split pushing material. So for now, on the side of Leon Mufasa, They're using a mid lane Faramis and a roam for the high lows. Maybe they can invade the Fanny jungle really quick, but they also have to think about something. But here we are in the Land of Dawn, the true international season 2 once again in this graphical arena. As we're heading into the Land of Dawn, Malaysia, that's their, their pikes against Laos right here, because this is going to be an interesting match. Both of the teams have secured both of those 2 wins, consecutive wins, and whoever wins, they're making it to the playoffs. But whoever lost, there's still chance, but they still can make it out and to the playoffs. But it's all right. EXP, we're talking about Lemon here. Against a Uranus, it actually works because the passive of Yu Zhong kind of, drains out Uranus HP. So this Uranus have to play really careful in the early game, just to affect that. Oh, we're seeing a first hook coming in the mid side here. I feel like that Faramis just got hooked there, but not enough suppression. That's why Rambo got to safety as well. But it seems like Fusion Esports are looking for a bit of a gank. Seems like the hook is going to go in, but you know how Alex is going to dribble his balls away and finally get to not get hooked there. But it seems like Orcanis as well is actually safeguarding Fanny, and like we have said so far, this Fusion draft is very targeted towards the Fanny, so they want to keep the Fanny safe, right? And the Fanny is breezily farming without actually being way too aggressive. So I guess that's a strat in its way, but it seems like it's the first initiation on the bot side here. The Petrify, just enough time, and also this could be a dead first blood for Lemon there. Just the perfect soul grip, not soul grip, but that furious dive. That is the way to go, and using that turret to the advantage. Fusion Esports grab that first blood, and also Lean here is in a bit of a pinch. Here comes WZ trying to do something, gets pulled in the Shadow Stampede here. Not enough, just getting punished in the Ring of Punishment, like the ring will do to you if you stay for too long. But here comes Mr. Uranus here, trying to do a lot, but he's looking for a comeback here. Don't forget, there's gonna be a retribution scored by the Fusion Prime once again. Federal Strike bombarding Leon Mufasa. They still want to fight, but that's gonna be a dead WZ. And once again, or is it W2? I'm pretty sure, but Lemon is also in trouble this time around. He gets taken now, but it will be Iriel. It's comeback to actually get the comeback towards the other side. But looking at the items so far, nothing much. We're not going to be seeing much because it's just a 2-minute mark. We're just transitioning to the 3 minutes. Not much is going to happen. But the fact that Fusion Esports traded a turtle for 2 deaths, that's... I won't say that's something to capitalize for, because Leon Mufasa, there are on the goal lead because of that 2 kills. But looking at that, the bot side though, seeing, like I said, if the Uranus gets that level 4, it's very safe for him to start cutting the lanes as well. But it seems like it's almost like an invade. Not much invade so far going on, but Lemon also needs to kind of prioritize on how he should play this out, because this Uranus is finally level 6. Both of the EXP laners are level 6, but yes, they have that invade capability. Seems like they're going to be invading their jungler. Nobody's there to steer for this W2. He needs to get pushed out, but I'm pretty sure he secured that. And once again, the top side getting bursted down over here. Lucky gets the kill and survives. That is going to be enough capitalization for those items. But as of now, once again, there is a golden carpet being laid to waste once again, and the heavy spin popped out as well. So no heavy spin for this upcoming turtle. I feel like it's gonna be more cooldown before the turtle spawns, but I don't think it's gonna, you get the cooldown ready for the turtle fight. But it seems like it's always gonna be the EXP brawling here, and like we said, Ariel, I think Ariel, or I don't know how to pronounce that name, but sorry if I butchered it. But yes, he is maintaining the distance and also being a nuisance at the same time. How a Uranus should be played, and then he's just trying to stack up those radiants, because skill also hits and you get radiant stacks. But here comes a little bit of a brawl on the bot side here. Lemon trying to do something to kind of get those passive stacks up. It seems like Leon Fusion Esports are not looking really good, almost bursting down Ariel. But here comes another realm to kind of fortify Leon Mufasa, As of now, they still get the turtle. They are looking for a kill as well. Here comes the Fanny Cables, and yes, Orcanas will be the one to get that steal. W2 almost falling, but it seems like Mr. Fanny here trying to do something, trying to get the kill onto W2, but it's a utility jungle. He heals more than you can touch him, so we're seeing some initiation in the bot side here. Almost a Moskov falling, getting punished most of the time. Oh no, lucky. He was very lucky that he get caught there for too long because it could have been bad. But look at that pressurization, Ariel. This is just too crazy. Alex is also farming really nice. Look at the gold ranking. He's already so much ahead. But here comes the flying. Oh, that's a knock-up good, but it's not going to be enough to kind of stop the impending doom for Leon Mufasa to give the Fusion Prime. And yes, they take out Lemon at the same time that tier 1 on top side. And that is the more the merrier, right? Leon Mufasa, Laos are looking good. They are very well, organized. They're well formed. They know discipline, which is gonna play out. Especially their Fanny is also well disciplined. The fact that she does not flex the cables, because if you can play a Fanny, what do? Is TikTok. So don't want to TikTok too much in the tournament because the energy is nerfed. Consumption is also very much. So you gotta save the cables. Only use it in that crucial moment to assassinate somebody like Lucky or maybe Darkness, because we're seeing some initiation once again. There's almost a fallen lean, and look at Orcanas here trying to punish a little bit into the Darkness, but here comes the pinning. W2 want to see this pin towards the tier 1, because that's going to be happening a lot. That tier 1 down, also the Nether Realm, but it seems like W2 is going to be biting the dust. They're looking for this kill. It seems like Iriel gets through, but there comes that Purify. Just enough time to save Iriel from getting absolutely bloody hunted there. The fight still continues, but the balls of Alex are well, buffed. That's why he's dealing a lot. The volley shots, he does not care. He still want to fight inside. He gets the lean, the double kill as well. This is when you know that a marksman is fed. The fact that he does not simply care about the feathered airstrike that is gonna burst down your face. And that is Alex. And yes, Fusion Esports, they were right about banning those marksmen, especially the Granger itself, because Alex, he's disciplined. He knows how to play the marksman really well. There's enough time. If we look at the items, I'm pretty sure he's gonna get like a Berserker's Fury at the same time. The Hasclaws already. He's working for, he actually completed the Berserkers now. That's why he was dealing a lot of damage. Maybe he's gonna work out on the Malefic Gun, and then he'll have more range, more poke capability, more busting down with a double ball shot here. Oh, it seems like Fusion Esports are in a pickle here. They want to take and defend this tier 2, but it's not going to be enough as Lean falls once again. Lemoon with the Black Dragon form survives, but it's definitely enough. But for how long? They're going to be trading this tier 2 out on top, because Irel and Orcanis, the two tanky meat shields, they're doing very well. Here comes the heavy spin. A very brilliant show against two of those spinning animation of the Uranus and the heavy spin of the Akai. But as you know, Spectre also, he likes the split push, and that is how you do a Fanny, because too much counter, you only need to be capitalizing on split pushing. Here comes another bursting down with the Feather Airstrike, but it seems like W2 getting caught in that, and the suppression comes up. That is that Spectre, a trade for the junglers on both sides of the nations. But yes, indeed, Alex almost getting caught, bursted down as well. But for now, he's still in a position, still having feed. He's at like 7k gold right now, ahead of Lucky, ahead of the Spectre as well. But for now though, once again, golden carpet on top here. That is going to be tier 2 down, as well as a Lemoon. Feather Airstrike once again. This is actually a good Feather Airstrike, but it's not enough as Rambo is already composed with his another hook coming up. Leon does not have the bloody hand, so they won't shut down this Iriel. So as of now, like I was saying, Rambo actually is a very utility, mage. The fact that he is using those eternal Nether Realm, on time to kind of save everybody from getting bursted down by the Feather Airstrike. Well, I guess I was wrong that the first Feather Airstrike was a bit more delayed. Maybe Rambo knows when to hit those skills more than how the Darkness drops down the bomb. But the fact that Darkness is also playing very safe, 101 as well, it's kind of impressive. Don't forget Lucky also haven't fed. You know players are good when, even though they're losing, if they don't feed, there's always a chance of comeback, right? But this is the first Lord charging towards the fortress of Fusion Esports. And so now that first initiate going to become Fanny trying to use the cables to bait out the ultimates for now. It's a feather defensive strike, but it's gonna be Spectre destroying Darkness there. Lean also gets fallen and mega kill for Alex, and this is the final push because I feel like they're locking onto the base. A little bit of a lag coming up. Don't know what's exactly happening, but all I know is Alex getting that double here. He's gonna go for that triple, but he got stolen that triple, but 4 members fall. And that is Leon Esports, Leon Mufasa once again getting the W and finally securing their stage to the playoffs. And that is exactly how you do stuff. The problem about Fusion Esports is they are very, I should say, scared of the Fanny. They were like always, see, like, if you're gonna be, counter banning something, you wanna pick something that counterbanes something that you want to counter, and at the same time at least one of the other heroes. But instead they took like 2 counterbans for a specific hero, which led them to having a less counter in their arsenal for the other teammates. That is why I feel like they underestimate too much on the other side. Instead they are overestimating the Fanny. So the Fanny also did much, but you know who did a lot? It's Alex there with the balls as well. Don't forget Iriel. Pure pressurization with his presence alone was, enough to shake Fusion Esports to on their knees, tremble. They couldn't do much, but it's good that both of the teams are, composed. They didn't overreact most of the time, but it's just that the drafting, I should say it was the draft, outdrafted, I should say, and not enough damage coming in from the side because Lucky, he doesn't have much range. So as again, Alex, of course, Mr. Alex, man, always the MVP. Maybe this is his start to get that MVP, but looking at the items and the very good emblem set, I should say, because common emblem, you don't have to worry about Bruno's magic consumption when it comes to the hybrid region a common emblem has. And also don't forget, this guy is rocking Master Assassin, so he's gonna be up there in the faces of somebody and get that extra percentage, damage, and hopefully getting the kill and bursting down Lucky as well. But Lucky, on the other hand, he didn't do anything, very risky, I should say. I rarely see his SOD fly in to kind of secure the kills at the same time. Maybe he was like looking very so forward to like the split push situation, but I guess something didn't actually happen. It was just W2, even though they Fusion Esports trying to utilize that utility jungle, they couldn't, and end up just Lemoon and W2 kind of like feeding a lot, even Lean as well. The thing about, like we said, they actually picked like 3 counters for the Fanny, which was kind of sad, right? Like the Fanny alone, I know a Fanny is very, if left untouched, it could do wonders to your team, but look at that. That is complete dominance to the side of Leon Mufasa, and I feel like we're gonna be looking at more. Of course, a rich guy, Alex, would have been impressive if he get like the 1k GPM, but he's dealing a lot of damage with his balls anyway, so he's gonna get that rich guy in the carry at the same time. Sandbag, of course, goes to Irel, because my man just be out there tanking all the shots, fighting Lemoons, Yuzong without any fray. And best wingman, yes, of course. The only reason why Lao's formation didn't fall apart is because of Rambo's Nether Realm. The Nether Realm was on time to save them from the Feathered Airstrike. So this composition, I should say, this is a very good draft into the side of Leon Esports, and I feel like our players are ready for that interview section. As for their webcams, we could wait, but until then, our players, we can interview them. If we get Alex on the interview section, that would be nice, because as a gold laner myself, lots to learn from him. I got to learn so much playing the Bruno. And one thing about this formation, like if you have a good synergy, you can actually pass the missed volley shot to Bruno again. So in case you didn't pick up the balls, your teammates can pass you the ball. So 2 times double volley shot every single time. So that is exactly what Alex did to dish out those damage miraculously. But it seems like Spectre here turning on that face cam. Mr. Handsome into the fray. Alright. Val, can we get that interview section? Yep. Hello, Spectre. How's it going? Fanny,
Hello.
fly out there, man. Flying out there, destroying Fusion Esports. Alright, alright, man. I'm gonna be very transparent with you. You were pretty much, I should say, countered a lot when it comes to the other draft of Fusion Esports, right? They did pick the Akai for you. They even picked the suppression for the Franco at the same time that Moskov. What make you, counter all those things that's coming from the bans?
ยูซี่แปลดูตัวเอง
Discipline.
CUC แปล
ยูซี่แปลให้หน่อย
Can we get a translator here?
อย่าง
บอ
ทั
ก
ศ
มัน
นะ
เอาใหม่ดู
can say again
Can you say again
Oh, I was saying, like, you on the other opponents, you had like 3 heroes for your counters, right? For the Fanny. So what did you do to kind of, out counter them? Like, you didn't get stunned most of the time. Instead, you are there to just, instead just baiting out their ultimates instead. So what did you do for that?
เอาเมื่อกี้เจ้าเล่นมีตัวเคาน์เตอร์เจ้า3ตัวเจ้าเฮ็ดจังไหนเจ้าจึงจะอันไหว3ตัวนั้นได้
ก็คือพยายามหลีกเลี่ยงไฟบ่ไฟตรงๆกันไปสปีดเลนอย่างเดียวเลย แค่เข้ามาเก็บงานจังหวะสุดท้าย แต่มันก็สามารถเข้าโดยตรงได้เพราะว่าเจอ3ตัวนี้เป็นตัวแก้ฟันนี่เราก็แก้ลิ้นไปสปีดเลนจากที่ไฟคือแยกจากไฟไปสปีดเลนแล้วค่อยกลับมาไฟใหม่ไปจากที่ไฟสุดท้าย
UC
เอาเขาต้องแปะให้มันว่ะ
ได้เลย
okay okay so basically I just don't focus on them and focusing on splitting lane
Yeah.
and farming gain those gold and then
ทำนี้ให้ทีมอย่างเดียว
Now, overall, it's discipline, right? The fact that you didn't extend, you know that they are gonna counter you, so you didn't even invade the jungle. You're just there on the safe hands of the Hylos. Even the Hylos was babysitting you to farm most of the time, right? So yeah, that was actually pretty good, guys. So any other teammates here? I actually want Alex on the mic, but it seems like he's muted. So other than that, Orcanas. Can we got Orcanas here?
เจอ
โอ
สิ
คานาเปิดกล้องให้เปิดลงว่าโอคานา
โอเคนะแบงค์เปิดกล้องแบงค์เปิดจริง
Open
All right,
up.
Orcanas, got one question for you. What made you a very formidable force for Fusion Esports? Because you are out there to let those golden carpets to your enemies and then safeguarding the Spectre as well. So, as a roamer, what did you do to make that happen? Oh, there he is. There's the handsome man.
handsome man
ภาษาลาว UC แปล
เมื่อกี้เราถามว่าโจเฮ็ดจังไดจึงแบบจึงอยู่เหนือผู้เล่นคนอื่นนะในฐานะที่เล่นโลม
ค่อยคือว่าใหญ่ชื่อปูเป้อยู่ในเกมไม่เหรอ
อันโพซิซิน
ดูสิสิ
ค่อยมีไอดอลเป็นหมู่โพลิชิต
It's my idol for me
ตอบกันเข้าไปนะ
he said he have idol the name is what Poesis yeah something like that
Oh. So he was imitating his idol play, right? Okay, that is cute. That is very wholesome.
บอกกันเจ้าว่าค่อยเล่นตามโพลิชิตสอนมา
yeah he say like Poesis yeah just what you say
ไอดอลโพลิชิต
All right, last question. All right, you guys have finally made it to the playoffs with that third win streak for Leon Mufasa. How do you guys feel, and do you think you're gonna be performing this, level of discipline again in this upcoming playoff stages?
ชนะ3 ตาลวดตัวนี้จกรู้สึกแดง
รู้สึกดีใจแล้วก็เป็นเกียรติหลาย ดีใจหลายที่ชนะ
จะอันชนะอันเรื่อยแบบนี้ต่อไปได้บ่
บางว่าเสียใจ
See you again playoff
Okay, that's it.
All right. Thank you so much, Leon Mufasa, and congratulations for your win against Fusion Esports, breaking that Fusion Esports win streak. And yes, congratulations. We'll see you in the playoff stages.
again thank you
Yes.
thank you
thank you so much
เลออนนูซี่ต้องมาละ
Crazy, isn't it, guys? Humble players, and if a player is humble, there is potential. But not saying players with ego and stuff, they don't even have potential, but some players with the most ego are also one of the best. So it really depends on balancing. But a humble mind is always appreciated in the gaming world. Any place, actually. So, you know how it is, guys. Leon Mufasa moving to that playoff stage. And that is it for game number 1 and match number 1. And it seems like Malaysia, they're going to be moving down to the 2-1 brackets. As for the Laos, Leon Mufasa, up there to the playoff stage. But the next 3 is going to be coming up. I'm pretty sure unless somebody joins me, it was supposed to be rated, join me, but if he's not there, I might solo cast again. But second match, we're talking about Cosmic Frogs from Indonesia, and it's gonna be Laos once again, KK Esports. Will they, perform like their former brothers, this Leon Mufasa, or will they suffer a heavy loss? That is for the question. Until then, we're gonna be having a few minutes break. Do tune in. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, share it to your friends, because the more, this second match is still going to be the win streak players, and the match is still going to be intense.